Hello, internet friends, and welcome to episode number 179 of Final Boss TV. I'm your host. My name is Adam K, aka Bay, and that's one of the very last few times you may ever see that intro. So just out with the old, in with the new coming out here. I wanted to have it done for the new season, but you know, so be it. However, today, as you notice right down there, I have to give a special shout out. Bloop. I'm sitting down here with some members of Method to talk about their Mythic Jaina World First on the show today. And this show was brought to you in part by the amazing folks over at Wowhead. Because if you have not seen all of the coverage or have missed part of the coverage or all the different nonsensical things that happened during that, then head over to Wowhead because they have literally everything over there. They have the entire huge thread. They have all the different kill video clips, all the different statistics. You can sort of follow along with all the different things we're talking about on the show today, all the different POVs, all of it. It keeps going. We're still going. I'm not done yet. This is all Wowhead coverage. It's still going. So you can check that out, of course. Thank you very much, Wowhead, for making this show possible. And all the extra bits and pieces that you guys cover, all the PTR notes, community event, data mine spoilers. Yeah, there's Novel and Wowhead right now are doing all this data mine stuff for the patch. If you want to be ruined, all the story, go check out Wowhead, of course. But this show would also not be possible without the special nerds that are helping out every single month, supporting the show, the stream, and everything in between. Thank you very much to my producers of the show, supporting it over on Patreon. They are literally more show. If you want more of my talking to nerds about nerdy things, there'll be more. And then once the spec shows start back up, of course, soon, we'll have even more. We got 51 extra behind the scenes. You can go check all those out. Link is down, of course, below or in the YouTube box description. All that good stuff down there. So thank you very much if you are supporting the show so that I can keep doing this and keep talking nerdy, dorky video game stuff. But that is enough out of me. I do have some new guests on the show here. Oh my god, unmute. Are you guys okay?
They haven't said a single word in a while now.
Shh. Scripe's first, because this is his show, damn it. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show, finally, after all these years. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing, dude?
How?
Wait, what? Am I supposed to say something?
Yes. I was going to ask you, how much of this show do you think you'll actually get to talk?
Depends, man. I actually thought I wouldn't talk that much, but if Deepshades... I was thinking like Deepshades will talk a lot, but I'm scared of Cayna now as well. So I don't know. We'll see.
Man, it could be. If you were here for the pre-show setup, this guy, there's Cayna. He would not shut up. Hello, sir. Welcome.
What's up, boys? How y'all doing? I'm ready for a good evening.
Oh my gosh. And because he's getting egged on by this guy. There's the boy. Hi, Fabo. Hi, Deepshades. Welcome.
Jaina boys. Hope everyone is doing good.
Oh
I'm looking forward to talk a little bit with my boy Cayna and obviously with Scripe.
Oh, just talking to Cayna? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, and Scripe.
Oh. Wait, is that his nickname?
He has a lot of nicknames.
He has a lot.
Oh, we have to hear this now. What are Scripe's nicknames? And go.
Oh, God. Actually, this got off now, isn't it?
Yeah? No, it did.
I can't really do it on the spot.
Yeah, don't do it on the spot. Well, I heard you guys talk about how Scripe gets called. We watched part of his stream and pulled it up at the Red Bull Gaming Sphere in London for the Race to World First coverage, which I was humbled enough to be a part of. And I was actually casting the World First, but we actually brought up Scripe's POV a few times, and we now realize why it's called the cockpit. So
this is a lesser version. Show him the argument one, Scripe.
Oh.
Wait, no, I don't think. Wait, let me try to find a screenshot. But I don't think I have one.
Do you have a screenshot of?
Yeah, basically I was doing like everything that I'm tracking right now, and then I had stuff bigger. Sadly, back then I wasn't as good with seeing everything, and I also was tracking the DPS series of the whole raid, and that got like a bit out of hand, and I tuned it back again a bit after KJ, because they like on the last few bosses, on the last bosses of the last 3 tiers, you needed to see the like 3D world, and the data was not as important. You needed to actually see the world, what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I minimized my UI a bit more.
Minimized. I don't have like a picture right off the bat to show, but Scripe's gonna be streaming a little bit more now, and I think some of his POV may or may not be in the kill video that we'll go over on the second half of the show. But there's a lot, and if you tracked more than that, that's on you. How do you play the game and do all the call outs and stuff and track all? Does he just what's we have to ask, but Scripe, what's your IQ?
I don't know, but I don't think it's that high. I don't think I'm very smart.
Oh,
I'm like a little bit above average, maybe. Well, not maybe. I think I'm a bit above average, but I'm definitely not like really smart.
That one doesn't agree. I'm also just trying to get as many. Yeah.
If Scripe is slightly above average, that means really bad news for the majority of Method, yeah? Imagine people like Narcles, they're just gone.
I mean,
I love you, Narco. I love you.
Someone in our guild did fight with Brett on the IQ test, yeah? If you remember
did he?
our list.
Ooh. Wait, I didn't see this.
What, there was a fight?
Well, I mean, we always have like a competition like for the most stupid guy in the guild.
Oh.
There was a close race between 3 Method members and a piece of bread. The piece of bread did not lose in the end, yeah? So,
oh God.
that much is said. And one of the members in the list is even in the chat right now.
Well, it wasn't me. Wait.
Shout out to Narcles spamming question marks in chat right now.
I might have flamed him. I did apologize.
And I did not win.
This is a legit thing with Narcles. If you flame him at any point, you just wait for him to log on TS, join the channel, say Narco, I'm sorry I flamed you, then you can leave again. Doesn't matter when you flame them.
Oh, is that
you
just
always apologize?
Oh, okay. There's always little things, and I'm sure we found out the post raid show coverage as well that was hosted by Preach that I was on one of the 2 sections on for the Race to World First, the Red Bull esports stuff. There was 2 extra sections of the show that you can go check out on their YouTube. There's all this extra stuff, all these inside jokes that come out, and a lot of little things. But I wanted to sort of make sure we lift the veil a bit on some inner workings of what happens within this World First race. But first off, I opened the show, of course, with the incredible work that Wowhead puts together, that curates out there. But you guys, Method has some incredible support in a great many places. So if you want to take a moment, do your plugs and your shout outs and your thanks across the board here. Deepshades, if you want to go first, and anyone you need to thank or shout out across the board that help sort of make all this possible and happen that you guys do.
Well, obviously Red Bull, they had like an insane production team, even though you like never saw them in front of the camera. There was like 10-15 people working constantly. Like, I mean, you worked with them as well, obviously, as a caster. And like, I mean, whenever we were playing, they obviously had to stay awake as well, since they were managing the stream. Then like all of our sponsors and like all the casters that were at the event as well, like it was really a beautiful experience playing there. And the biggest thanks, I guess, goes definitely to the community. I mean, if it wasn't like only for me, obviously to everyone in this guild, like the amount of whispers and good words we have been told from like the community is like really heartwarming, and it definitely keeps you like playing and motivated even during the down phases in progression. So thanks for that, everyone. Here, like a little heart.
There it is.
But yeah, and yeah. That was my part. I guess we do some shoutouts like after the stream as well, or like just like normal people.
Sure. Cayna,
So,
what
yeah,
about you,
then-
sir?
Thank you, Trey, for the milkshakes.
Oh. Ooh, that's an inside.
Just like
there
Fama
you go.
said, like London was amazing. Obviously, like thanks to the community for all the support and like everyone that made London happen. Like Method for sending us out, Red Bull for like organizing the stuff. Obviously, Method also did organization stuff, and then like it was Trey for coming out and literally just being like, "Yeah, my job is to get you milkshakes daily." Like it was awesome. We got taken good care of. I have no complaints. I miss him, dude. I miss Trey. Yeah, it was awesome. Like I love everyone. So he even bought me yogurt.
Yes. Well, for those that don't know, apparently the reason why the World First even could keep happening was because Cayna found that yogurt.
I was really happy when I walked in the store and saw yogurt.
Yeah.
We have bigger buckets here, though.
Scripe, how about you, sir?
I'll show one it after the stream.
Yeah, obviously, thanks to all our sponsors. Even though I wasn't part of the Red Bull show, I wasn't there. But for me, what matters most is the team. And in the team, I really want to thank the bench guys that some of them didn't even see any boss in the tier, even though they didn't, even though they weren't used, they were still there, ready to jump in at any time. I think that's what many guilds don't have. I think that's what many guilds also lack, because you know, you might end up needing him. Like, for example, we used Noka on Mecha Torque, and it was important that he was there. On other guilds, you see people like that just rage quitting and leaving.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. And we didn't have any problems on the bench, and there was no person that whispered me, like threatening me to leave or any. Like, we had these things in the past, but nowadays it doesn't happen anymore. I'm really glad about that. And I also want to thank my wife, actually, who was taking care of me during the whole tier. Bringing me food.
Oh, that's that. So you basically had your own version of. So Trey had to sort of handle all the talent that was there. So, but that's some brownie points right there. Shout out to.
I wish I had a wife. So if there's any girls. Nah.
Okay, nice.
Hit him up, dude. Please get my girl.
Oh my goodness. That's really good. I was going to make sure there's another shout out. Of course, if you, on top of all the coverage that Wowhead puts together, there is also, of course, the method.gg, the raid progress thread that is curated that does follow the entire race whenever any of these happen, sort of with updating every single bit and piece that goes along. So you can go follow that. This happens and gets updated daily as everything goes through. I mean, hourly, weekly, minutely, as it all sort of works together. So have this bookmarked for any previous races. How many pages is it? Oh my goodness. It goes back and back and back. So that is just the raid progress thread on Method's website as well. So get that bookmarked in the future. But I wanted to make sure we didn't move beyond like the intro part of the stream without having a huge shout out as well to the overall community that showed up for the Save the Children Foundation, the charity that was a part of the Race to World First. Just shy $18,000 was raised. So holy actual crap, Mask. That was insane.
That was. How much did we get at the end? 18,000?
I think it was just shy 18,000. I'm going to the.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty happy about that.
I'm really proud of that, dude. I'm telling it to my wife all the time too.
That's why she makes you food.
I'm not
You're
playing
not just
this
playing
game for
games.
nothing.
We're just some sweaty nerds playing games, and we managed to make money for children, dude.
Yep,
Very
$17,731.09. Just brought up the actual charity page. That's
Oh, yeah,
crazy.
dude. That's good. I'm happy.
I was
Smashed
blessed.
it.
More the community, but yeah, still, we can take some credit.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. So thank you all. I mean, it's just playing video. I think I was on your Twitter. I think Deepshades that you actually had like the really big blurb about how I just get to play video games and they raise money for a really good cause. That's just really that's how it's all sort of comes around with us nerds playing video games. So you can go.
True.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it definitely leaves like a nice impact on yourself if you think like, even though I'm just like enjoying myself and doing like doing my hobby kinda, you do actually help some other people with that. It's nice like how gaming can like connect so many people, like even people that don't even play the game donated probably, and it's just nice like how people can unite for a good cause.
No, it's awesome. So First things first, then, getting down a little bit of brass tacks here. So, streaming the event again at the Red Bull Gaming Sphere in London. The live event coverage was the entire event, as well as the 2 post-raid coverage days. Again, those highlights are on the Red Bull Esports YouTube channel if you want to go watch those. Both shows were hosted by Preach. There was like a funny, nonsensical day and like the whole big interview day where we went through like every boss and boss. And I'm part of half of that. So go check that out if you want more coverage. But before we get into the silly stories you have to share, what did each of you think of the actual time spent during this raid compared to Uldir? How was the Race to World First sort of Volume 2 different than the inaugural one end of last year with going into Mythic Jaina? So the scope, scale, size, commitment, preparation, and whatnot. How was that different on your side of things? I'm going to go to Scripe first on this one.
Well, I can talk about the prep, I guess, first. It felt like a new expansion, kinda. Like usually on Uldir, you say, okay, this is a new expansion, so we just, put in everything, and then the tier should just last like 1 week max. And on Uldir, we kind of didn't prep as much as we did here, I think, if you don't count the leveling and stuff, I guess, of course. But yeah, it was like a long tier. But here it was all about the prep. I didn't even really feel the tier. I was like, oh, it's over, I guess. Okay. But yeah, the prep was insane with the Titan Residuum. I think it was a bit too much. I don't think Blizzard foresaw what we were gonna do with it. Yeah. Aside from that, you already know about the crafting and stuff. So that was crazy. The tier itself, I think the length was nice. I think it was good. I think this is how a tier should be roughly. Aside from Jaina, I wish it wouldn't have been a dumb DPS burn instead of tactic play.
Yeah, I don't want to caveat on that too much, but I'm actually really curious. As we were casting and watching all the Jaina progress from the desk, it was weird to me that mechanic wasn't just like, when there's a water elemental up, Jaina takes like no damage, forcing you to do that phase. But nope, didn't exist.
Well, I think it's nice that we have the choice to interrupt her early. It's just playing the elemental was not an option. That was the problem. So it was like, okay, we first tried it and then we saw that it's just not possible, and then there was no other option to burn. Like, instead of burning her, we couldn't have done anything else, really.
Yeah, it was strange.
Actually, there are some things. There are some like really crazy ideas that we had. We can get to that later if you want, but it's just really hard to perform.
Right. Well, there were little things. So, how much AP was farmed? How many islands do you guys think you actually did leading up to the race? And how many pet battles were actually consumed? I don't know who has the stats on that one. Who wants to take that? Because I think that's like the biggest curious point.
There's one answer, and the answer is too many.
No. All.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I remember the game when it was like nice and stuff, and you just had to like take off a bit of time in Heroic Week, or you had to do some work in Heroic Week, do some splits. And then it got, okay, during Heroic Week, like in Legion with M+ and stuff, okay, you kind of have to play a full Heroic Week now, do M+ and stuff. And then they hit you with BFA. It's like, yeah, so 2 months before you do AP, like you do AP swoops, then 2 weeks before you start heavy island farm. Then during Heroic Week, you don't get to play your main anymore. Instead, you're going to play your alts, do like M0s, do M+ and whatnot. And then there's Mythic. Like, the game is like so different right now. It's just like, you have to play so early. I didn't even stop AP farming. I'm still AP farming right now. I do my AP swoops every day. I just can't be arsed anymore. It's I don't like it. Bring me back.
But yeah, I guess to get actual numbers, I think like the average member in Method probably did like around 1,000 islands leading up from Uldir to Battle of Dazar'alor. I think this is kind of accurate. I mean, then you have obviously like different species, like species
wait, different
like
species.
Species like Flex. He goes then to the 2,600. I mean, well, some people like to torture themselves, I guess. But there, I think pet battles wasn't even that much. I mean, some people, I'm pretty sure, skipped them to like even if they rewarded AP. I mean, it wasn't too huge to do them. Like, and if even like every second day there was like one pet battle quest. And what was the
I don't
third
show
thing?
them all on that.
AP farmed. I mean, the average member was like 42, 43 on their mains. And they also were usually around 38 to the 40 mark, so people can do the maths themselves. But yeah, it's definitely like Scripe said. I feel like usually like progress was more like a sprint, you know, like I mean farm was still always fun, and like you had to work a little bit more on farm since Legion than you used to be. But like this time it was like a full marathon. I was like already having an asthma attack before even going into the content, yeah, like, and I don't know, like I was already tired. I think people see that also in the webcam with the eye rings that I have.
Yeah.
It's not makeup in case people wondered, but yeah. So it was definitely quite hard this time around.
There's also other parts of this that I sort of have like an internet inside outside of this question, so I'll actually push that one back one. But there was also I'll go back to Scripe on that because you bring up the bench, and actually it's been brought up recently. Actually, Mike Preach, that many of you know him, I don't call him that anymore, made a big video about because of all his interactions with the Race to World First, with him in his guild, because he missed so much progression, he tried to wiggle it in there, but he did commit to just the whole production here. He's not rating Mythic Jaina right now because his character's too far behind, right? He's on the bench. So he made a big video about being on the bench, and it's actually incredible. You should go check it out if you haven't. Just listen to the inside outside that he goes through. But like, what lengths, Scripe, did like the whole guild go to do this? Because the sprint that the actual Mythic week, because you did clear in one reset, that's so much small portion of the actual overall time you put into this, right? There's so much more that happens way before and the lead up. So like, what lengths, all the crafting, and you can bring up all those stats if you want to. I don't even know how much. Auction house, BOEs.
Yeah, I mean, the crafting, like, you want to start with the crafting?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, let's start with the crafting. So I actually, like, apparently this worked in older as well, yeah? And we're not just talking about crafting and then you can trade the items. We're talking about crafting, equipping, like scrapping the item, removing the profession, learning a new spec, crafting, equipping, and repeating. Repeat this on 4 or 5 professions. I don't know. It was alchemy, engineering, jewel crafting, and armor type that you could do. We skipped the armor type unless you already had it for some reason, because like armor you got anyways in some way or another, so we didn't really care too much about it. Way more important was jewel crafting for the ring set bonus. It was also engineering helm was insane, of course, because you can trade all Azurites. You can even maybe get some tight residue if it's a non-needed one at all. I think we had some examples like that. And alchemy, yeah, of course, there were some really nice trinkets. But yeah, how was it? Okay, so we didn't realize it on all day because we didn't really prepare good on all day. I was quite busy IRL. I don't know what the other officers were doing. Like, we kind of slacked. That's why it was also really, really close. I mean, I admitted this in front of the guild as well. Like, they know. And we were kind of playing like on eco mode as little as possible, but, you know, doing the most important stuff. So we missed the things with the BOEs. We missed the warlocks. I remember us spotting that you can dot up the add-on Mithrax before he goes away, the Zalzak's guy, and he comes back with less health. We completely forgot that. I just didn't rewatch PTR videos. I usually do that. I just didn't do it. So, like, we missed a lot of stuff. We were back. And now this tier, we had to kind of catch up with all the tricks and stuff that we didn't realize during old year, such as the crafting thing, because this apparently worked back then as well. And then I learned about this, I think, on Tuesday before the Heroic Week, or Monday. I'm not sure. I think Cayna informed me about it.
Yeah. Shout out to Russia for the tips. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we got some tips from like US. Like, they were like, okay, so we're gonna do this thing or something like that. We saw some guilds just clearing 2 bosses and then just going AFK, and then it struck us like the things that you can do with it. And before that, my setups for the boss clearing, it was just about, you know, you coin a boss, like a weapon boss usually, and then you trade like the other weapon from the other boss, and you go usually for 2-handers. That's like classic trick in the book. But now it was crafting involved, and I had to remake everything. It was quite crazy. And also we had to get these crafting materials from somewhere because Tyre Mill didn't have enough for all our characters. I was first thinking maybe we just do alts. Then I was like, no, we can do more. We can do more and more. And then I started asking people, where can we get some gold on other realms so I can buy their auction house off. And I went on Kazakh and Draenor and bought pretty much every rune, every ore on the server. There was nothing left. And also I divide. However, I didn't do like 1/3 of each server for the other crafting materials, but I just checked which ones has the cheapest prices. Like, for example, Terra Mill had really cheap alchemy stuff already, so I don't really need to care about that. But there were other materials that other servers were cheaper on. So there was, I think, one full guild bank completely full, and there was another one like the guild bank was full, but the character that transferred it wasn't completely full, which is like almost a whole another guild bank. So that's a lot of space. Yeah, it was just, the problem was that I wasn't prepared for it. And the servers were lagging and stuff as well, because when you try to put stuff in a guild bank in a full server, it's really, really slow. And the fact that we were, caught off guard made this very stressful for me. I couldn't prepare my own characters. I think I did like 20 M plus or something on my character. And I did 1.6k PvP rating. Like I didn't do anything. I didn't prepare my alts. I didn't do any M plus on my alts. I actually tried on my druid. I did the M0s, and then I didn't manage to get the 15 title cores. Even though we had the materials, I just couldn't craft because I didn't manage to play. But yeah, this was my whole heroic week, just making spreadsheets, going on auction house, buying stuff, looking for BOEs that are cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
So that brings up an interesting point here, and sort of this little extra side follow-up is that you went through a whole bunch of stats that you've banked during the whole process leading up to and during the raid race. Were there any that you weren't expecting when you started? And just to squelch anything and to quell this topic, how much gold is Method in debt?
Oh, God.
Well, the debt is anytime payable with WoW tokens, so that's not a big issue. We're in debt. Let's not say how much we're in debt, but we use 50 million gold. It's not super crazy. I mean, 50 million, you can make that. Any mythic rating guild can make that by just boosting. Even if you're not mythic rating, you can just boost heroic rates. Let's say 6-7 weeks, you're gonna have that gold, no problem. If everyone's helping out, not an issue.
Just one Mythic Jaina.
But yeah, it's just the fact that we weren't prepared for it that and then we had to actually owe people. And then Galavix helped us. Deepshades and Flex always have a lot of gold. They helped us as well. And there was also some other guildies like Josh. Sometimes he just traded me and gave me 900k. Didn't even ask for a payment back. He's just trade open. I just press accept. Done.
Okay.
Servo, at some point I was like, I need 350k. Can't log to another character. Just send me someone. He just sent me 350k, and like things like this happened all the time. But yeah. So we did use more than 50 mil, but that's just what is in what's written down. We probably used 55 mil or something. Nothing huge though. And aside from that, people bought their personal stuff, of course. So there's we had runes as well. So I actually spent a lot of gold before the tier as well. I'm not counting that actually. So this is just what happened during the heroic week, the 50 mil. Before that, I started 2 months before roughly, started buying runes, like augment runes, and I think we still have a lot. I don't know. I think I bought too many. Well, yeah.
I don't have many left.
So there is this notion now that is sort of circling around the community because of what has sort of come about in Battle for Azeroth. And can you talk to me more about the notion of, air quotes, buying a world first? And do you think that this is sort of a large or small factor overall, which how much can be done to gain advantages that is sort of just outside the actual, kill X bosses for Y loot? There's so much more that can be done now. So what do you speak to that point? I mean, we can go to all three of you if you have different thoughts of this too. We'll just go with Scripe on that first, because I don't think it's as prevalent as it used to be.
Yeah, it's right now it's definitely too much what you can do with gold, I think. I mean, I don't think anyone would disagree. It's common sense. If you can buy a World First, though, I answered this, like there was another interview, I answered the same thing there as well. Let's say Limit had endless amount of gold, and we didn't have any gold. They would win, no doubts. The thing is, like anyone who's rating high end, they have a lot of gold. And I mean, sure, the thing is, okay, like endless gold is quite insane, because then you can like buy off players, telling them, you know, come to our raid, and you can make a raid for each player where like everyone else is coining useless items and then trade the useful items to that person. It's insane. The amount of things you can do is insane. You can have full biz gear, no doubts. But let's be more realistical. Let's talk about getting BOEs, like crafted items and so on, spending like, let's say 100 million, and the other guilds doesn't spend anything, like just their consumables, let's say. Yeah, Limit would win, no doubt. Even if, let's say, even if they were worse than us, skill-wise or tactic-wise or whatever, they would still win. We wouldn't stand a chance. And that's quite sad. At the same time, I mean, this is not a realistic scenario, because we can always boost, we can always get gold, so it all evens out. It's just part of the game. But I of course would prefer if it wasn't. I of course would prefer if you know, especially the fact that money is included in some way, because you can just buy WoW tokens. That's really, really sad. I don't know if Blizzard makes a lot of money from this or something, but that's just, if it wasn't there, that would be much better, because then it would be, you know, a team working to get gold inside the game, and then they achieve something with that. That's still cool. That's kind of MMORPG, but buying WoW tokens and spending is definitely not.
Well, not even just the WoW tokens and being able to buy gold, because that has like a teeter-totter effect on the overall game, and in a way, Blizzard will of course make money from that. But the sort of weird elephant in the room is things like race changes and faction transferring multiple times. And even you said too, you had to transfer guilds, right? Because you were buying things off other servers, because your server cluster didn't have enough stuff to sort of finance the BOE and the crafted realm of this. So there's a lot of other spectrums that are involved in that too, that both bring in the in-game economy and the outside economy as well, to again that notion of buying a world first. But then I don't know how to summarize that, because other factors go into that in the real world, in the real sports and things, with sponsors and partnerships and marketing and that kind of crap. So it's just because it's in a video game, it's weird. So the over-under on that one.
I honestly think it's gonna get worse.
Oh,
just how active we were with BOEs this tier, it just made me realize how much of an actual gain it is. So if we're progressing any other tier, I'm just gonna make sure, like, if there's 3 BOEs again, I'm gonna have 425 socket from week 1.
Oof. Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna hunt every single server, and then like right now, like literally in the last 4 or 5 days, I've made 2.5 million gold, right? Like just boosting, just playing the game a bit. So if I just go into a tier with 10 million, I'm just gonna spend 10 million on those BOEs, and then there you go, 3 slots fully decked out.
Right.
Never have to replace. So
I mean,
if every single raider can do that, that's just like a massive gain.
I mean, a big thing is also just didn't used to be like this. I mean, it's kind of a new thing. I mean, like BOEs always existed, but I think, like, for example, this tier, there was like how many BOEs? I could get a belt, I could get boots, I could get a cloak. For me, for example, like I got 395 Uldia bracers with socket, which was still better than like anything I got in Heroic Week. And I don't know, it's just like Limit got like a lot of heat for like this entire faction changing, which I think was kind of unfair. Like, obviously we spoke about it within the guild as well, like what they did. Not saying we wanted to do it as well, but like after we saw that they did it, we obviously spoke about it. And I mean, in the end, we kind of did the same, and people see like, oh my god, they spent so much gold/euros on it. We kind of did the same, just we just put our resources into something else, and in the end, like, they shouldn't get as much heat as they got for it. And it's definitely sad. I mean, I said
think
it like...
was smart.
Yeah, it was definitely a good thing.
Scripe didn't even know about the 400 item you get. Like it was a smart thing by them, to be honest.
I mean, I said it like not obviously not in this interview here, but like many other times. Like I personally would even play this game like progression-wise, at least if there would be no loot, and like that makes it even more boring for me that there's so many things possible. Especially also considering how much gold we actually spent, and I don't think we got really rewarded out of it. Obviously, there was like some weapons or some trinkets we ended up trading, or like Azerite helmets. I don't know how like Scripe sees it or the other officers, but I think for like how much effort we put in, we definitely didn't get rewarded enough. Like in terms of like the actual drops. Of course, that's just really. You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like it could have been better.
Well, that's
I felt like personally it could have been better.
That's the follow-up question that came in from Wowhead to ask this. Do you feel it was worth it and all the advantages gained from all the crafting, BOE buying, jumping to different servers, buying out their auction houses for things that you needed for crafting, everything else? Was it worth it and all the investment? Is it worth doing it again?
We got World First.
We got World First. What else can we ask?
Next time will be much better because this was the last minute plan.
Oh.
Next time we will be organized.
Well,
This is going to be a fiesta.
Every single alt already has 2 professions now, so we have to level 1 more.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be insane next time.
Yeah.
If they keep it like this, we're just going to go ham.
There's a lot that is changing in the ecosystem from now until the Queen Najara, because we're not talking, for those that are watching and listening, we're not really talking about Crucible of Storms, 2-boss raid. It's kind of meh. It's all about Queen Najara, basically, and that's some number of months away, so we'll have to see how the landscape changes. So I have some pinpointed questions here to keep moving us along. Cayna, it's for you. Is there another level of min-maxing that has been employed by Method? And can you enlighten us about, in your words, you said this, I'm going to go, quote, how to get 2 PvE players ready within 20 minutes. How is that handled by Method exactly?
All right, so basically what you do is you make groups, you make couples, and then one guy, you plan the time ahead, then one guy wakes up, he goes to the bathroom, takes a shower, whatnot. And then when he's done, he yells, officers, what time is it? And then you respond with, it's World First o'clock. You walk down, you go to each other into the bathroom. He puts the sink on, I get the toothbrush, I put the toothpaste on. We both brush the teeth. Then he leaves, he puts the shower on. So like by the time that like I'm ready, the shower's already warm. I go on there, and then you're done, That's me and Fabo right there, min-maxing, done in 20 minutes. The boys did. That's it. 20 minutes, 2 raiders, done. Showered, freshed up.
Do you know how I get ready? I wake up, I walk to PC.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, this is not kidding. Being in London is so annoying because everyone's like, "Oh yes, dude, 7 hours of sleep, let's go." And then the London boys are like, "Shit, we got 6 hours of sleep." Fuck. Like it literally takes an hour off because you have to wake up early, you have to shower, but there's like 1 or 2 bathrooms for like 4 people, so we got to shower. Unless you're genuine, then you get a hotel, and then you send us later on in the morning, like on WhatsApp. Wow, what a nice variety breakfast they have here, and we're just like sitting there in the cab, like, yeah, same dude. That was
actually,
a filter.
People underestimate it, like we are in a haunted house. The water takes like 10 minutes to like heat up. So like you just need to do min-maxing in real life as well, and this is how you get to World First. Yeah. Exactly. Like without this 10 minutes, I think Cayna would have Cayna or me would have failed on a kill try because we were too tired.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. See, that's the min-maxing. All I'm saying. First day, we had like 3 people in our bathroom. We were done before Perfecto and Narcolis were.
The boys.
All I'm saying, me, Chris, and Fabo, the 3 of us, we were done faster than those 2. Just the min-max.
The IRL min-max.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, like actually being in London, like it's awesome, but you get so sleep deprived. It's literally just an hour less sleep, yeah? Like you have to wake up, obviously share the house with others, so some people have to wake up even earlier.
Right.
You have to get ready, get a cab, go there, be there, set up everything, make sure you're completely ready. Like, if I would be here at home, I would just, like, wake up 10 minutes before, walk downstairs, get a coffee, go back up, put the CL, and be ready. Like, it's literally just, like, an hour less sleep. And then, obviously, it's the same thing with going back. Turn PC off, go to bed. Turn PC off, make sure you're locked out everywhere. be ready, get a cab, go back, get bed ready, and whatnot. So
Yeah.
It is fun though, seeing the boys. Like when you wake up and like it gives you like more of a tournament feeling. Like you wake up and you see like the boys coming like down the stairs and they're like, yeah, let's just kill the boss today, and you just know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So here's a question then for you, Deepshades. And are there any classes or potentially a spec specifically that was the MVP for the race to World First this time around that either you knew going in or found out whilst you were figuring everything out? And sort of why was that class or spec the MVP?
I think that this time we had a like definitely a good picture of what would be good and what not. Like unlike Uldir. Obviously, like all three multi-dotter specs were incredible: Warlock, Boomkin, and Shadow. But I think for me personally, the real MVP was Restoration Shaman, because like the amount of HPS both Zelia and Chris Potter did. But not only that, I think Spirit Link and especially
Windrush.
No, not the Windrush. The Windrush was lit. Windrush was lit as well, but the Ankh Totem, like especially phase 1 on Jaina, there was a lot of things going on and happening, and even like people saw it in our streams, even like 300 attempts in, there was still quite a lot of deaths in this first phase, and we could just use these Ankh Totems because we didn't need them really in phase 2, and on every like hard combo we just had one of them, and if someone actually died, there was not this usual tilt like, ah, man, we used already a battle rest, because like many people probably know it from their own progression. It's always like when you're on a hard boss, you kind of want all the battle rests for certain moments, or usually especially the last phase. And like when you just see, okay, this player just got saved by the Ankh Totem, and then also in the last phase, in case we didn't have the perfect try, we still have the Ankh Totems ready and like the extra HP that it gives. I think that like that spec just made it so much easier. Like our healers were definitely like our healers did like a perfect job with the class combination that they played, and like also huge shout out to Chris Potter, like to play that class actually so good as an alt, and Zelia that was actually super ill, like he was permanently coughing and like basically dead inside, and he still played so good, considering he just came back from HOTS and had less than a month to prepare for the race, and to just snag then instantly the World First again. Like even though we meme them often enough, I'm really happy to have these like this heal team that we have in the guild. Like they're definitely the best in the world for me.
Yeah, the healing team we have right now is like, it's really, really good. It's amazing.
They had a lot of work. And I guess the follow-up to that real quick is, are there any specs that are now showing? I know we may have talked about this in the pre-show if you weren't here already in chat, but are there any specs that are showing up all of a sudden for guilds that are now progressing, catching up, finishing the tier, or even farming now, that you would like to give a nod to, that are a little bit OP or MVP status?
I guess that was a joke. I guess since I'm a Warlock, I mean, Demonology Warlock is insane right now.
Demo Warlock is ridiculous.
If you have the option to play 3 times explosive potential, you should definitely go for it. It's insane. Even though, to be fair, right now, all 3 Warlock specs are probably performing in the top 10 of all classes or all specs. So, like, you don't necessarily need to play it. But they're like, if you can pull it off properly and you have the specific pieces you need to do it, you will definitely body literally everyone in your guild. Like, that is your ticket to rank 1.
It's funny to find that out. And there are a couple more topics that I was going to talk about, but those are going to be saved for the after show for patrons that we'll bring up. But Scripe, this is an interesting one. I didn't know how to really formulate this without sort of having multiple questions in here, so decipher this as you will. But how do you decide on your roster for such sort of a massive undertaking such as the Race to World First in World of Warcraft? So who gets the bench? Does it come down to who that player, like what that player can play class and spec wise? Is it performance a big variance between players within Method? Is it maybe a time factor? Does it boil down to the encounters that Blizzard actually creates that you have to then piece together and spreadsheet out and figure out? So if you would lift the veil for us on how this gets sorted, and if you want to give a nod to how you did this without Roger this tier, then please. There's a lot of wonder in how this actually gets created?
Okay, so first of all, performance. I think most players in Method are performing at almost the same level, and like after a certain point, what you do with your own character doesn't matter that much, because everyone's almost doing everything they can. I mean, on certain scenarios, sure, it's always really nice to have a person that that would be on the bench because they're just performing better, but it's really, really rare. There's barely any DPS checks around. It's mostly about tactical play, and if people do, if the rate leading is good, if the strategies are good that you decide on, then you're not going to have problems. I mean, this sounds like I'm praising myself, but that's what I mean, because I'm not building the tactics necessarily myself. So it's important. Even like people from the bench can help you with tactics or with VKRs and so on. So it's more the classes that is important. And there, I mean, you obviously, as always, you want to go for the last bosses. You want to decide what you want to bring there and keep them in the setup as long as you can, and then bench them if you just really have to. If a boss is hard, let's say we bench Sko on Mechatorp because we really need a DK. Right. Although we know Sko is going to be in for Jaina, of course, or things like that. Or on Stormwall Blockade, we bench some people because multi-doctors are just crazy good. I mean, it's not really hard to see what's really good on a fight. So the classes are a really easy choice. And player-wise, who you bring, it's usually you don't have much choice, because players prepare like 1 or 2 characters at most, unless you're Flex, the Hydra.
Yeah.
So like you just on Stormwall Blockade, we just look around. Okay, who can we bring as multi-doctors, and then you just bring them all in. And then if you really have a choice, you just check. It really rarely would you have to check performance. You rather check like Azurite, item level, and stuff, because most people play at the quite like roughly the same level.
Okay.
So you were saying without Roger and how it was.
Yeah, I made the comment a lot. I don't know if this ever came back to you from the casting desk, that I sort of made the Dragon Ball Z reference, that you're sort of like Vegeta and Goku in the fusion dance, and you can't fusion dance without your Goku or your Vegeta, right? So how did that play a part in this raid? Well,
because Roger wasn't there were some other people who were helping with the strats a little bit more. So if there's like silence, always someone will come up and like talk and bring his own opinion, because maybe he couldn't do it in the past, or he was like, okay, these 2 guys are handling it, so I'm just gonna shut up and listen, or go FK or something. So I remember, for example, like Just Wait always helps with the tactics, but this time he did a little bit more because Roger wasn't there, and also Josh, who usually does way less, also was doing a lot this time around. But of course, it's. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'd rather have Roger than them, but it would be good. I would prefer to have Roger in the team as always. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, like with the setups, how the decision was made, as I said, it was easy. So it's not really like Roger wouldn't have changed anything in our class decisions, I think, but more in the tactic department.
Okay.
It's also important to say that Scripe did more this content, because he knew if we would not get World First and Roger comes back,
no,
that would mean that he would be inflamed like until eternity, because that was literally that would have been a proof that Roger is always like the puzzle piece to actually win the World First. So Scripe definitely did way more than usually.
Thanks, Scripe. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Scribe.
There was a few times I think that Roger piped into chat during the live show, and I think one of the comments was asking was like, "Does Scribe need me right now? Is he all right?" So there was a few of those nods that I thought were really neat. That it's interesting, because I think Roger's like almost, for my point of view on my show, one of like the most guested guests, I think. So it's weird having one of these shows without Roger, because
I miss him.
One of the follow-up questions that we had here was that, did the bed sheets in London affect performance at all?
I didn't have bed sheets. I slept on the couch.
Oh wait, so yes,
I mean,
then?
You can barely say it was a coach at this point anymore, yeah?
Literally, the couch was like, it's not even a flat thing. It was like half broken. So it was like, it had a massive hole. And that's where I had to basically lay in.
Oh no.
It was a torture room. I found a comfy spot at the end, but...
I slept like a baby.
Oh, that's good. The real follow-up I had to that, though, Scripe, was there a class or spec that, in hindsight now, would you have rather had on any of the encounters, or maybe just Jaina in particular, during the actual push to World First?
On Jaina, I think the only thing we could have done is replacing
Warrior.
The Warrior DPS, yeah.
Oh.
That's the only thing. I would have, I mean, obviously, I would have preferred like, 4 Warlocks, 4 Priests, 4 Boomkins or something like that. But we could have also benched like a Hunter in theory. But I think, it was sometimes nice to have that backup Hunter to do the certain jobs that the other one does. So I think that was fine. Melees were fine. Rogues were doing good damage. Redry was fine. Just a Warrior was a little bit behind. That's about it.
Okay.
Even Redding Cry was still really useful, though.
Yeah, like that's the only reason he was in, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
and I assigned the rally for like the backups, and you were like all believing, Revis is gonna do damage at the end, but it's just the thing is the boss dies at 5.5 and the execute is at 20%, I think. Or he was telling me at least that he starts ramping up after 20%. I don't think he had enough time, but also the fact that with the wall and the multi-dot is just winning the fight was just he couldn't do anything about it. It's just Mori was a little bit worse. But the rally, even though it was in the end useless, but it could have been useful. I did call for it right before we killed the boss.
But then people were screaming and he couldn't hear.
He did use it.
So I have a real silly question before we take a break, but I wanted to follow up with that one more time because I memed on it a bunch on the desk when I was casting during my different segments. That the one thing that after all of this with the gold and the BOE and all these other things aside, one of the new systems within Battle for Azeroth is the raid buffs and the debuff system, Monk and Demon Hunter, and then like Fort, Int, and Battle Shout. Because if you
Awful.
I'm glad you're immediately cutting me off because, like, Ryan Reynolds' gif here. Why though?
The thing is, I would have liked maybe on like a fucking enhancement shaman or something, right? Something that's extremely unrepresented, and then just like a small thing. But then they hit you up with the Demon Hunter, Mage, Priest. Like those are popular anyway. Every single tier has had them. Like just throw it on something that's like so uncommon. Give a Feral Druid like a small thing or something. I don't freaking know. But like, why? And they're like so impactful as well. Yeah, it's not like you can bring a scroll and get 4% magic debuff on the boss.
Nope.
It's like no, you always need a Demon Hunter. You always need 1 monk. Like maybe if you run like 0 melees, you can maybe drop the warrior or something, right? I guess that's another reason that Revis was useful, like for the 3% extra attack damage on all the others.
No, just wait.
It's minor. Oh yeah, of course, Just Wait was one warrior as well. I don't know. I think it's probably by far the stupidest thing. I think I'd rather have Warfronts than keep this next expansion. Honestly.
That's a bold statement, but I think I'll get behind you on that one. I don't see the point of them at all. They're just.
Well, it's just. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Deepshades.
Well, it's just weird. Like, I mean, they don't give it to underrepresented classes, and like they initially, if people remember, initially there was like data mine stuff that like every class I think had something. DKs had like Leech, Windwalkers had movement speed. I mean, that one would have been perhaps not perfect because there's always things you need more or less, especially like considering raiding Endem Plus. But at least every class had kinda its purpose, or like every spec. And like nowadays it's like only 5. So at least bring then the old system back where you had like a handful of buffs / debuffs, but several classes could cover the same one, so that you had like a leeway or like a choice of which class you would actually bring. Because as Cayna says, like, I mean, Mage used to be in history one of the classes that is always good, especially because it has 3 DPS specs. The chance that all 3 of them are really bad, like this tier perhaps, is rather like low usually. Same with Warrior and the Execute, and like I don't know, it just feels it doesn't make any sense, and like there's no actual thought put into that, and feels really bad because like you will always need these classes, and for example right now when Vengeance DH is completely trash kinda, you will always have the DPS DH, so it's kinda nice obviously for that player to be safe in, like you have that 100% spot,
Yeah.
but for the raid leader and for like the guild decision making, it's kinda bad because in the end it's like, yeah, keep him in. We need that 5%. Like you have no choice. Like you have no choice actually of getting rid of like 5% magical damage taken debuff, for example, on Jaina, because like 80% of your damage dealers are magical classes, and I don't know how Blizzard justifies a system like this.
I'm not sure. It seems incredibly superfluous to bring those back, because that was one of the best parts about Legion, is just get back, eat your food, go. None of this nonsense, none of this buffing, none of this. How many times in chat, post, here's a callback to what I did in the casting desk. If you agree with me, post one emote in chat that summarizes this feeling. How many times have you asked for, can we get an X buff, please, before you pull? Even with weak auras, even with people that notice they don't not buff themselves. I'm glad
there were 3 other priests.
Wait.
Nah.
You're glad other priests were buffing, not you?
Nah, I've a nice week around that shows like who's missing it. So even if people die mid-pull,
Yeah.
I do recognize it like after 3 seconds after rebuff. But
So here's a fun question. Oh,
except when I'm holy.
Uh,
Don't have a keybind as holy. I'm out of keybinds.
This is a question from Ketsuki from Wowhead. For each of you, Fabo, you're first.
Oh.
So this is a big one, right? Because this is from Ketsu. You gotta make sure you choose the right answer here.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. What is your caffeine of choice between like coffee, tea, energy drinks? What do you prefer?
Actually, none.
Oh.
As hyperactive I am, or like always seem in the streams. I mean, like all the Red Bull people can confirm. I don't have any like real caffeine intake. Like, obviously, I drank a few Red Bulls over like that 7-8 days there, but I don't need it, and I never drink coffee either. So for me, it's completely like I don't need it like at all. It's useless for me. If I wanna stay awake, I stay awake, and usually the hype carries me through the progression. So yeah, but obviously, if I wanna get caffeine, then only Red Bull.
Cayna, how about you, sir?
In the morning, I'd take a coffee or 2, and then in the afternoon and evening, take Red Bulls. I mean, for me, it's like no secret. I like Red Bull. Like when on the first few days when I was there, I just drank Red Bulls and I started making my own little pyramid of Red Bulls.
I saw it.
Yeah,
100% true.
The cleaners took it away.
Aww.
I was excited to just have like by 4 by like 6 Red Bull pyramid or something, but they ruined it.
Scripe, how about you, sir?
I usually just drink water, man. But sometimes I drink coffee, but it's mostly for the enjoyment of like the taste. Very, very rarely I do drink coffee if I get headaches or something, if I'm like working really hard for something. But it's really rare, like maybe twice a year or something. Really, really rare.
Fair enough. I'm a tea guy myself. Actually, a friend of mine just sent me a whole bunch of tea from South Korea that I'm going to start tasting soon. So that's my answer. I don't know, you didn't ask me, Ketsu. That's what you get. There we go. But I'm going to move us along here. We do have the sort of live commentary section of the show where I'm sure Cayna and Fabo will have plenty to say. We're going to watch the kill video back, but my guests can take a quick little reprieve if they need to. I'm going to babble about a few different things behind the scenes here and some more shout outs during the middle here. And then we'll get to the watch together section for the Mythic Jaina World First. But again, a big shout out to all the coverage that Wowhead puts together and for helping make this show possible. So go check out Wowhead for all the everything about World of Warcraft right now. Like I don't know. I had like a scripted thing written out, but literally there's like just so much stuff that Wowhead now curates between all their different authors and writers that are between everything else, the different widgets that are just keeping up to date with all the different parts of the game, all the weeklies, all the different little events and data mine. Just go check out Wowhead. Like, what are you doing if you're not? Actually, real talk, the enhancing the Warcraft 3 cinematics using the neural networks processing, check this out. This is actually wild. I'm a big film geek though, but for real, this was really cool. So, but go check out Wowhead. Of course, you need any of your World of Warcraft news and information therein. And again, of course, thank you very much to the supporters of the show, the stream, and everything in between. Over on the channel's Patreon page, they are diving into more behind-the-scenes stuff. They got show notes. They've got extra podcasts. And this graphic is the February list, so this is a high five to all of them. And if you want to be a part of this, then every month this is updated. There's more. We're at 50. Let me go double check real quick here. Yeah, I'll update tonight. There'll be a little after show wrap up with the Method guys, but we have 51 extra shows, and all the spec shows are starting back here soon. So there'll be little tidbits and pieces from those shows as well, because every single specialization, if I can survive it, gets a show this season in Battle for Azeroth. So if you want even more inside nitty-gritty nonsensical just discussion about your spec, that's all coming. And then, of course, supports the show to make sure that I can keep doing all of this. But if you ever miss something or need to get up to date on anything that I'm doing here, then, of course, there is just FinalBoss.tv has all of my socials. We're updating the website again real quick here soon with some sponsors and partnership information, but all the socials are there. YouTube link for the archive. That is right there with my dumb face from PAX. And I do believe I'm going to PAX again this year, so I might see you there when I go. But that is that. There's also one other bit we brought over in the show earlier today. Where is it? I actually had the tab closed. We brought this up during the live cast. There is this huge resource on Method's website that is the entire... Here it is. We brought this up a lot, actually. So there is the raid history post that is chronicling every single raid in all of World of Warcraft. Sort of like this huge time capsule with like how many pulls or how long bosses lived, all this stuff. So this was really cool to look at, to bring up stats, because people were wondering, well, how long is Jaina going to live and how long is this going to happen? But this will keep being curated moving forward. This is an awesome resource in World of Warcraft. And again, this is on method.gg. This is the raid history thread. This is awesome stuff, because there was a couple of things in here that were really awful to go back and figure out. Like, where was it? How long certain bosses lasted. 19 days to defeat Kil'jaeden. Where it's interesting how a boss that has a ton of rampant, flippant RNG doesn't die as fast as one that you can control a little bit more. Like Jaina dies in a reset. Kil'jaeden takes 2. But that's fun little, time capsule to go back to and find out. So go check that out if you are curious about how World of Warcraft is shaped over the years. So a lot of awesome resources out there. I'm pulling over the Watch Together link. All right. Cayna, did you get your yogurt? Are you good?
This is definitely yogurt. This is healthy
yogurt. It's a liquid
with...
salad.
Wait, was that the break now?
Yes, that was the break now.
Well,
we got scammed.
Did you? I said you could go take a break, Fabo. Did you go take a break right now? You need to go grab a drink or something?
Nah, I don't need anyway.
You don't need breaks.
Oh, no breaks.
Actually, imagine being in Method and needing breaks. Awful.
You should have seen HFC, dude.
Okay.
I've heard
Well,
stories.
that was every time moment, actually, but still.
Yeah.
So I've got the link pulled up here for the Watch Together. If you guys are good to go, this is so Scripe has like a big commentary strat oriented walkthrough coming out soon on Method's YouTube channel, right? Is that like the official go through?
Yeah,
Scripe? Yeah. Okay. So this is not that. This is recanting stories and goofier, sillier, awesome plays or moments and different decisions you made during the entire race as we watch this back together. So if you want to join us and follow along, of course, pull up the kill video. We're starting about 10 seconds in. And we'll go for this if you guys are all ready. This is Cayna. This is you and Fabo can take this away if you want.
I'm ready, dude.
But isn't that Scripe's job now?
No, he's doing the official thing. Let me see if it actually plays. I may have to resize it to make it play.
I mean, Cayna and me are just the useless pawns that are like playing Scripe's tactics, yeah? We don't know what's going on.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get this into play. There we go. Gosh, now it'll play. Goodness me. Shout out to your art team, though. I brought that up in the pre-show, but holy crap, it's so good.
They did a good job.
Yeah, they definitely did.
So here you can see our amazing sponsors.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that was in the video. It's important. See, I got you. Fist bump.
See, the boy. Here we see Mr. My gear is too good and our DPS Fabo because of that.
No, don't say it.
I said it.
Ouch.
I mean, his gear was really good, but so was amazing.
Do we need now to explain the boss, or what?
I don't think we need to explain the boss. I want you guys to talk about what you were experiencing, different parts and pieces that came up, and any funny. You can give like Cayna jabs within you guys. That's fine. You can start and stop and rewind if you need to as well. We're all here
My
together.
first phase was kind of always what we called like the live action movie, because you see like always from the side the good old ships, Pirates of the Caribbean coming. Like we needed to dodge the bombs, and like our hunters were controlling if the ballistas, and when you like do the ballistas good enough, sometimes the bombs don't even come at all. You will see the animation, but like they actually don't come. And then like every here and then Meres or Junji were like, yeah, 1/3 coming, half fake, perhaps, little chance, and in the end, like, it was no one trusted anyway, because like you didn't want to die and like get anyone like
here's the
tilting on you.
cockpit.
That's the cockpit, yeah.
That's the cockpit, yeah.
Cockpit
You also missed. We didn't talk about the most annoying job in the entire progression: mind controlling the ads.
We just saw Vicklin doing that on his POV, yeah. So
I swear to God, if healers don't start doing that on progress, I'm gonna tilt. I mean,
Yeah,
on farm.
on farm.
The funny thing with the mind controlling was just that, like, on Mythic Jaina, you like need certain amount of people close to you that you don't get frozen in an ice block, and like Kevin, aka Viklund, basically had skull marker because of the transition, and like every time you hear him in first phase, please stand on skull, please stand on skull, and like there was a few tries, like 4 or 5 tries in the progression where it didn't happen, and then you just hear like a table smash. Or like, because like no one stood next to him and he got frozen, and you just see both like shadows in an ice block, and like they were completely tilting. And
well, which guy smashed the table though? Was it me or Kevin?
Both of you.
That's fair. Here we see the Sir doing DPS.
And like outside of that, I think the only other funny thing was like, especially in phase 1, Narcolis wasn't like progressing with us the entire time, so obviously we had already like 150 attempts or something on the boss when he just came in, and phase 1 was first kinda like autopilot, and as soon he saw he got an ability, whether it is avalanche or anything else, you just see the insta bubble, like bubble. And it wasn't
bubble stand still in the corner.
It wasn't really bad, because like he would still have the bubble for the last phase that actually mattered, but it was just so funny, even when like there was no like darkness phase or anything happening, a normal avalanche bubble. I'm not trusting.
Scripe, you wanna walk us through this amazing intermission?
Wish we had voice, man. It's way cooler without the music and instead the voice, I think. Like Maris doing the calls for the bosses.
We can pause it, remember?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
pause
of course. You can.
I'm gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it when it's. Oh wait. Actually, I'm watching the wrong thing. One sec. The video was lagging for me, so I was watching it from the wait. So what do you guys see right now?
We're just We're just right on Mara's POV.
Yeah. So exactly. Okay, so the NPCs here, where we don't see them, they have 6 positions. Okay, and on one of them there's the boss. On other 5 positions there will be ads. The positions are fixed, but the boss's position is not fixed. So Maris was humanoid tracking them here, and you can see it on his minimap. He sees all the humanoids, but at the same time, there's like some achievement stuff. Like there's some snow mounts that you can trample over it for some achievement, I think. And he was seeing them as well on the minimap.
Oh
So
God,
it was really confusing.
What the heck? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he was like I think he was focusing the boss, and he would call, for example, here. I guess he will call, the boss is on the right, and the right side needs to kill 0 ads. That means the right side will just go straight through the middle and do the dance with the tornadoes and get to the other side.
Yeah.
This was pretty cool with the hunter tracking, I must admit.
Yeah. And then,
You can,
like, in
continue, I think.
the intermission, left side was ridiculously hard. So if we got left first Jaina, well, it definitely was harder. You have to agree. You can outplay
This
it.
is the thing, yeah.
But
There's 2 teams, and then each team says like my side is harder, yeah. But yeah,
I mean,
it seemed a bit harder. I agree.
basically,
even Limit said it as well.
Since Fallen Avatar, whenever there's a boss where we split up the team, like especially I meme about like the weaker side, since I'm usually on the strong side. I mean, I don't know if this is coincidence. And I was on the right side with Scripe, and you know, like the mechanical, like the good mechanical players were all on the right side, and yeah, the left side got frozen more often, so we flamed them all the time, and at some point people got annoyed, and like we had to literally say we stop flaming each other now, and we just concentrate from then on in the transition. So yeah, I had to shut up basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, left side was harder. Like,
I have to admit, the best part of intermission.
Players.
The best part of the intermission is when Lorca got frozen, because that's the guy who flamed the most. It's like, oh no, left side, porco dio, not again. And then when he gets frozen, it gives you that amazing feeling of revenge. Didn't happen often, but
Fabo, you have an incredible progression face. Just wanted to say.
Yeah, I have that. I was like just scared how ugly I was there. Holy fuck.
Aw.
so here we have. So like, as soon as we get out of the intermission, we pop some healing cities. I think we have a Spirit Link and double Priest are going mental. And then we just break the first stack instantly. But because we have double Priest going mental, it's like at 12 stacks, everyone is full HP. And as soon as you reach 13 stacks, the health bars just go like lower, 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 lower. So then you get that like adrenaline of like, okay, we have to kill this barrel quick now.
I talk about this part, by the way. So we did break 2 barrels, and there's a 3rd barrel that is not broken. And if we don't kill it with these, or if you don't break it with these broadsides, then it's gonna be really bad later on. You will need to break it and nuke it ASAP. So you want to break it with these broadsides latest. It shouldn't have come to this, but we're late, so we have to do it by these. And there's the ice wall in between. And Servo apparently says here that he will do it, and he will TP back or something. I don't know. I didn't hear it. So he will take this gateway. And I will, like, the whole room goes dark, and I'll blink after him to help him. And I was like, maybe other people will follow and we help him. I knew I can take care of myself. And I don't know if you see it on this video, but I'll try to continue it. And like, he takes this gateway, I blink after him, and then suddenly he TPs back with this own thing. And I stand there completely alone, wondering where this guy disappeared to. This is so funny on my point of view. I just blinked and there's no one. Like, just a broadside falling. Okay. It's ice block.
Yeah, Servo was trolling whole progression.
Yeah. No, at least I heard the call of like, I can just TP back. And I'm pretty sure you even reply, Scribe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you even reply.
I'll say.
Oh, no?
Nah, whatever, man.
Yeah.
No, he didn't say it.
Yeah. Sarah just pulling one of his many ditch tricks off that like the same as likes to pull on flex apparently.
I mean, Servo is
flex.
known as Servo is a known ditcher, yeah. So that he would leave Scribe alone getting ice block is normal.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No,
so
I
is
used my
Coda.
own ice block, yeah. I didn't get
I'm
that.
just saying.
No way, I didn't.
I hope this goes into the trial thread, Scribe. So is Coda. He promised to play Apex with me and never happened.
Oh no.
Yeah, I said no to people. I could have played Apex the entire day, but I waited for him.
Oh, here you see like him screaming.
Yeah.
Sorry for the grip. You even saw the animation there. Like you
Okay,
can feint
so-
the feint stripe
Yeah.
there. Even.
You can still see this little line, so context here. So like, you know those little shorts that come? Maybe you can even go a bit back, can we?
You can scroll back if you want. Yeah, go for it.
How do I go back? Like this?
Yep.
Okay, so like you see those little icicle shards on the left. My thought was I get broadside, I have the personal anyway. In this person you can't get frozen, like slowed and stuff. So my thought was, I'll soak the ones that are close to prevent people from getting frozen in this purse. And then I'll get out, explode, and get grip back in. But I left about 0.5 seconds too early. So when you actually like look at me... Wait, it's going? Oh my. Yeah, so here I get it. I soak the close ones. And now I'm like, maybe not. So I drop it off. I get grip back in. You can see the grip animation like right now. Like you can see the little line, but it's just a bit too late. The idea was there, but 0.5 seconds too early. Unlock.
We were DPS swapping it. It was actually good because we always kill this cake too early. Whoever's progressing this was, I'm gonna stop here. This cake here, like the rate drops low, and we're keeping all healing CDs for the next phase, which I think is maybe a mistake. You might want to use one CD, maybe at least one rally. Depends on your setup, I guess. And because after this, there's not much damage, and the tanks are not high on stacks either. If you delay this cake like we did, because we were killing Cayna, that was actually a good thing. We will have a much easier time later on, and the tanks will not get frozen as we have to kill the wall, so we gain some damage.
Yeah, it was definitely planned, by the way.
Yeah, I want to confirm that. So when you were soaking all the shards, that was a sacrifice, and you were getting rezzed afterwards, right? Was that a totem or a res, or you just didn't die?
Wait, no, he was not supposed to soak them. He was just trying to make a play, and he failed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Right,
Okay.
It works. It double dipped.
Pretty much.
Right now we are basically just damage stopping because we wanted to face like at a certain timing because of the stacks. Or Scripe, was it the stacks?
No, because of the howling winds.
This is the fog.
Is there.
Yeah,
We don't want
the
to face
fog,
the
fog. Yeah.
We can't DPS. So basically, with this fog, it reduces your vision a lot, but it reduces your the place how far you can attack even more. So you can't actually DPS Jaina and DPS the wall while this is up. So we push him right after, or her, I guess.
Yeah, I wanted to make.
Barely see it on this guy's UI, but the tanks are completely fine on stacks here, and that's because we killed the keg late.
Yeah.
Now
I take credit.
Now it's also like a big point in like our progression when the boss like hits 30.5%. Like she puts in the middle, and you see like how like half of the raid team is still DPSing the boss because we have so much damage on the wall anyway, and we wanted like to just get more and more percentages of Jaina because we have right now we have Bloodlust up, but she doesn't like ice block in this phase. So we got her to like what 27.5%. So we just gained like 2.5–3% by this phase, which was really huge. And then,
that is definitely the strat you use now. Yeah. Oh god, Gingy play so strong.
And then here we needed Gingy to interrupt because like the Warlock pets can't do it. And
I've heard Future does it with Warlock pets.
I don't know, like we tested it, it didn't work at that point at least. And yeah, meanwhile we just bursted down Athanos before, and we basically all had a macro to cancel our Bloodlust so that when we actually interrupt Jaina, that she won't ice block. And that happened like sadly 2–3 times that we actually forgot to do it, like 1 or 2 people, but yeah. And this phase was basically the easiest, to be honest, as a DPS player, because right now we just stand on cross. Like cross marker is Scripe, and all we do in this phase is pressing our buttons and following Scripe.
Thanks,
The only bad part was that I got 2 hearts here.
Oh.
And I didn't have my ice block because I did the play with the servo. And
then people stand on Skull. Who was the Skull?
Yeah.
The boy.
Oh, but you
Not
were?
me. Yeah.
This when I saw this Spirit Link when I was casting, oh, I knew it. I was like, that's Chris's Spirit Link. They delayed it. It's so good.
Yeah, that was also like an important moment, I would say. Like this Siege Breaker here, Siege Maker, I don't know the exact name, like is supposed to die. Basically, we had a macro to literally remove any buff that your own class or like anyone in the raid provides, so that the chances of you dying is bigger. Because if you die before like the Siege Breaker hits, we don't take any damage and you don't take the knockback. But if you don't manage to die, you at least had to run as fast away as possible. That's why I, for example, did the gateway there as well, even though Eliao didn't take it, so that we at least don't get knockbacks. Like in that phase, it was all about like not getting knockbacked and gaining extra getting extra damage.
Did you see the Chinese tactic, dude? They just pop all CDs and they just take it in the group, yeah? Like right in the middle.
But yeah, our tactic at least was just like, fuck off and like you have to die, and that was literally our only dead guy for this try, I think, except like the 2 tanks that we the 2 tanks in this phase we are also letting like die on purpose, but this is why we had the Ankh totems and still all the battle res is ready, and so basically it was just like a complete clean attempt, and yeah, we can like continue. Basically now the second frozen. Wait, did someone stop again?
Nope, just hit play. Just gonna tap on it.
I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
And here the second frozen orb, we don't even soak anymore. Because like until the boss dies, the orb doesn't even explode anymore. So basically, yeah.
That's a soften rage, by the way. Or well, called almost hardened rage. You see, 5 seconds left, boss dies.
Yeah, as soon as it explodes. How many stacks do you get?
In case you don't know the V card, by the way, I'm just gonna show it again. If you have a V card that shows. Yeah, it's spooky. These guys go fully ham, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
shout out to Perfecto for just like smiling.
Yes.
Yeah, Perfecto wanted to act cool for the girls. Yeah, like he was like, yeah, I don't want to act like really nerdy, but it was okay.
So on the top here, you'll see the bar. The video froze for me. I guess it's continuing for you, but you see on the bar like 20 seconds, 15 seconds left or something. I guess for you guys. Right? Oh no,
it's paused.
No,
it's paused for us.
It is paused.
Wait. No, none of you touch it now. Okay, so I don't know if anyone else is pressing it.
No.
Nope.
Oh
no, it's just you.
It's like pausing and playing. Wait, maybe it's
if it's full screen, it's a little weird.
Ah, okay. So, but yeah, you see the bar on the top right. That's the frozen orb. Once that bar like ends, the bar doesn't fill up, by the way, because it's how many people soaked it. But the duration on the right, that's the key thing. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at boss HP. I'm like, this looks like a kill. Just use immunities.
Just use immunities.
Yeah, I mean that's like Narco was waiting for it, yeah, for the call, and then he just pops bubble.
Yeah, like the limit kill. One guy alive in bubble.
Yeah, Spooky's just like, okay.
So much we had 5.
Yeah, rip Spooky, dude.
I love log extraction. What the fuck, dude?
What the fuck, dude? It's so easy.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, we were on the desk listening to that. Yeah.
You know, Spooky after this just alt tabs and uninstalls the game. Yeah.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gone.
Full quit. He's gone. Full quit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually gone.
He actually quit. Pepe Hunt. Can we get an F in chat?
Huh.
By the way, Spooky has also today birthday, so if he's actually by any chance listening, same with Liao. Happy birthday to both of them. Great guys.
Do we go back to yesterday as well? Do we go back to yesterday as well? Happy birthday, Sarah. Was yesterday?
That's my birthday, Fabo.
Yeah, your birthday, I mean, I don't understand in front of the stream, you know, I think it's a little bit private.
Yeah, I bet you don't know that.
Wait. I can get this.
Wait, how do you know this one?
Because there's a birthday sheet.
Yeah, and they posted always on Twitter. But yeah, so everyone that is listening here right now, go on the Twitter of Iliao and Spooky and wish them a happy birthday.
There you go.
That's it.
Go for it.
I want to.
But yeah, this moment when we like all nerd streamed in the arena, it was just such a good moment. Like honestly, at home it's obviously always cool and you like scream for a few seconds. Most of the people I know, the cool guys don't do it. But like in the arena, you just see like how everyone is happy, so relieved. I mean, we did it even before the reset. And like you just know like all the work that you have put into this like long content and preparation, plus like you don't let anyone down, like all the community people that helped in the splits and everyone is cheering for you, like you just make them happy. It was definitely like a great feeling. Ooh, I get emotional. Cayna, hold me.
I'm coming.
No, it was awesome. It was definitely incredible to be there. I know that we had sort of the inside track on when you guys would actually get the kill, but that was a day later than what was sort of planned, I suppose, because it was sort of this. Mike and I were said they want you guys on the desk in the morning to cast because you're getting the kill. And then Mike and I, you left us so high and dry because we did 4.5 hours of nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. I watched Mike's video about that.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
The best thing is when the chat wrote, Method doesn't even wanna World First or deserve it. They're not even like trying the boss. They're just standing in front. They don't really want it.
Wait, when was this?
This is Twitch chat.
The Sunday when we were like talking really long about the boss, and then Mondays, obviously when the boss got like hotfixed, we had also like a super long break when we were like all fully depressed. So yeah.
Well, Sunday was funny though.
Yeah.
like, I don't know if you know the inside info on that. We basically, like, me, Josh, and Justway was mostly the people who were doing tactics, and we basically calculated it together, and I was like, this DPS is doable, and we can just avoid all mechanics, and this is the strat, and we can, like, ignore the elemental. I was even asking Justway, like, so what about this elemental? Do we like, what does he even do? Like, do we even care about it? Just let him alive. And we calculated it all, and it all made sense. And then we were like, do we want to try this tactic now? Or, you know, we want to keep it secret, because once we try it, we have like, you know, 3-4 hours maybe.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to see it, and then we're going to go to bed, and who the fuck knows what happens after that, you know? So we decided to do, without even testing it once, we just went straight heroics just to secure the kill. And then Monday morning, we just went for it. And I think we would have almost killed it even on the first tries if we played good. But just, yeah, was a bit unlucky. And then the hotfix came, and there was the pull where Go thought it was still hotfixed. And then
we don't talk about this.
Oh, we don't?
Go was actually super sad.
I almost brought it up on the pre-raid show, and he was just like, no.
Yes!
It was kind of crazy. Like Sundays, like all the Red Bull people, we were like super hyped. Like, oh yeah, tomorrow this boss dies. Like now with the heroic gear, it's so easy. Like everyone but Perfecto and Narcolis were basically believing from the Red Bull people. And like it was just so funny. Like I wake up Mondays, I literally scream, "Officers, World First o'clock. We are killing this boss today." I put like on some good music that fits like the theme, and like everyone was like I was like kind of sure we would even kill it that day. Yeah. And then like when we got like the hotfix, we were just so depressed. Like it was actually, I mean, you were there, Bay, so like you kind of know it. Like the mood within like at least the Red Bull people, like it was definitely like really, really frustrating. But then the same went then for first day, and like first day, I don't know, I don't think like at that point anyone doubted anymore that we will kill the boss, because like we saw that we have the damage, we just needed that clear like gameplay. And I feel like whenever we actually do go for the boss kill, it's like the clearest attempt ever. Like, I don't know, we slack so much in some of the tries, but the kills are usually like really, really...
The kills are clean, definitely.
So there's a lot of other things that come up in this, and I've got a couple of hand-picked questions here that were submitted to me. And then if chat, if you have any questions, if you guys see anything you want to actually like respond to, we have, I don't know, I'll give like 15 or so minutes here to sort of wrap things down. But this came in from the Wowhead Death Knight guide writers. Did you ever seriously consider bringing an unholy Death Knight to burst down a large number of ice blocks in the Jaina final phase? Which caveats, did you ever actually think of doing the real phase?
Yeah, we did for one pull. We had, if you look back at the progress, we did one pull wherein phase 1 we all got Frost Novad, and then we just had like Narcolis, Spooky. Did we fight Naga for that pull? I can't remember.
No,
but basically
that was just theory though.
Yeah, so basically we were just trying with like Narcolis and Spooky, see how much they could do, and then if it became a viable tactic, we probably would have taken Naga as well, just because DK is like, we know that either Dragon, or I know at least from M+ experience that Unholy DK does like giga damage on multiple targets. So if we end up doing the tactic, probably, but
I mean, we had a lot of different versions of how we could break the ice blocks, but like they all didn't seem to realistically make sense. But that was what initially got Narco kinda in, because like we all knew that Narco had like some insane AoE as a Retribution Paladin with some certain traits, and it was kind of funny.
Unless where you're Kevin. I do more.
Because Narcolis was still at the like Airbnb sleeping, because like we didn't need him for the boss up until that point. And I literally said, if we want to try something like this, get the red in. And we called Narcolis, and like Narco is not like the most accurate with his informations. So we are like, Narco, each ice block has 1 million HP. How long do you need for this 1 million? What are the numbers you can pull? Yeah, 350, 500k, something in between there per person, or like on all. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, 300k probably on each one, but I would need to check. Perhaps 500k when I get a proc. And like then when he actually came and we tested it out, it was like kind of like not awful, but it was like not like how we expected it. And like it was the typical Narco wants to sell us something, and it's like not how he explained it.
He's saying in chat
Typical
400k. He said 400k.
No.
We have locks if we have to go with Narcles. That's
yeah.
I think The
It's like it's like Scripe said also earlier. We had like a bunch of different tactics. Like if it's the ice blocks, or if it's like how to play the boss generally in like the last phase. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on. But to be honest, like we had that one day, I think it was a Saturday, where we went to sleep, and like that was the day where we had like this 4-hour break, I think, and no one actually had an idea that made sense when you thought a second time about it, and you just saw like in our like on our server, like if any like after the raid, if anyone has ideas how to kill the boss, just whisper me them and I will think about it. Like when you see Scripe that desperate to like actually ask us for help, you know, like he was not in a good spot at that time, and was kind of crazy like how Jaina was tuned.
It's a strange thing, because my follow-up that I had for this is that, and this is the stuff that it sort of affects where I am right now, right? So I'm only on Mechatorque, and you're laughing at me, you're laughing at chat. Laughing at chat. You can laugh at me, that's fine too. Is the things that show up sort of down the road, and I want to bring up the Mechatorque situation right now, is that you guys didn't do anything that sort of cheeses the Mechatorque knockup, because you could actually extend underneath the tree and get caught by it to ignore that part of it. And there are these little things that come up in strategies that other guilds find down the road. So the follow-up I had to that was, what are your thoughts on new strategies that come up after you win the world first that make you go, oh, we could have done that? Because there are all these little things that come up down the road between other bosses. Maybe like the last 3 or 4 only really matter. But were there any that popped up that you were like, damn?
Yeah, I have one on Jaina actually.
Oh? What's the Jaina one?
Yeah.
Is it the DPS one?
Yeah, it's the DPS one.
Yeah, it's...
Don't
tell pieces. They steal a boost.
There is one trick you can do to gain even more damage on Jaina. It's actually... like, you can probably get like 3 mil HP or something easier by doing that. Like, I don't know, it's not like 1%, I'm not sure. But what you can do is, if you go all troll, like I assume you would do that, then you can kill Nathanos on the second tick. When you have 2 stacks of the debuff and it's 5 seconds left, instead of when you have 1 stack of the debuff and there's 5 seconds left. Man, this is hard to say. Like the chilling touch thing. Yeah, you can basically wait, like delay killing him by 15 seconds roughly. Then that means you would still reset your stacks for your troll, so it doesn't matter. But what it means is you would gain that time to reset your 2 minutes, which means right now, if you use your 2 minutes when we bloodlusted, you would get them back roughly like 3 to 4 seconds before the fight ends with our DPS. So they would be useless. And like obviously you would want to have them earlier so they're useful. And what you can do is delay Nathanos' kill. This way you get another set of 2 minutes, which means like this is quite big, because then, for example, all our rogues can vendetta the wall instead of just keeping it for no reason. And then some people who were focusing the wall, like our hunters, can focus the boss instead. And everyone who's focusing the boss can also use 2 minutes. It's pretty big DPS gain. Like I could have combusted twice. I did figure this out later. Once I saw the limit kill, they didn't use this. They were bloodlusting the boss, but they could have. And if you lack DPS, I mean, you don't need BOEs for that. If you have this tactic, you're going to do a lot more damage than what, 20 BOEs would give.
Right.
It's bigger than that. Yeah, that's one thing. Outside of that, the bloodlust, how limit played it, I don't think it's better than our trick, if you use this trick especially. And yeah, the other thing was the keg IRC. I mean, it might seem really small, but delaying that third keg is just really, really good. And using maybe a healing city or more health stones or something like that.
Uh-oh. Cayna exploded. He's back. Well, Chat came up with one thing. The whole is breaking a mechanic string in a boss fight considered a strategy, or because you can? Oh, there he goes. You can.
My camera broke.
Your camera broke.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Wait, I fix.
You fix. So I don't know what the heroism, the bloodlust strat is on Jaina to make it so that you can actually lust your group, but not, there he is, but not ice block her, because that's a thing that people are doing now. That just seems to circumnavigate a trigger. Is that a strat to you, or is that?
Well, I don't know which one you mean. If you're talking about, for example, what Limit does with, either drumming or bloodlusting on one person, and then she is on a CD on their ice block, which is 1 minute, and then bloodlusting right before the ice block ends. This way, you have the 59 seconds room there to have your second bloodlust up. If that's what you mean, then I don't see any problem with that. I think that's not breaking anything. We knew about it, we just didn't use it.
Right.
We chose not to do it. So, but if there was other bugs, I don't know. There was one thing that you could do, which was really, really try hard. You can bloodlust right before she's about to phase. Then she ice blocks and then also phases, and the ice block cancels. And then you could do another real lust without delaying the fight in last phase. I did it once by mistake. Like I lusted because I wanted to really lust, as soon as she phased, and did it a little bit too early. So she popped ice block and then she still phased, and then so you can do that, but that's too risky anyways.
Yeah, apparently something to do. Yeah, pre-bloodlusting the whole raid, and then you bloodlust before your debuff runs out to block her, and then when exhaustion times out, you would bloodlust when she's on cooldown because of that cooldown on ice block.
Yeah.
That's kind of mathy triggery. I guess it's up to you, that strat wise. Little things like that are kind of strange. It's the first time I've ever seen this much interaction with bloodlust and a boss mechanic, but just lust, do more damage, lust, do more healing, right? So
I have to say, I think it was kind of boring though. I mean, I know that wasn't the question right now in the talk, but that the boss ice blocks. Yeah, sure, it's something new. But I feel like using bloodlust is always such a good feeling. You're just pumping, or the healers can keep you up. And on Jaina it was just, how do we use bloodlust without her going into ice block, or when is the perfect moment?
Yeah.
And there was basically just this one moment where we really could use it, so we just did it there. I hope we don't see that in the future anymore, to be honest.
So here's something that is again from Wowhead as a totally off the side. This question, of course, is from other writers, not the DK writers. Which hair products do you use? Can you break that all down for us? Fabo, you're first.
Well, I mean, looking
question.
at my...
Oh, what? Okay.
Is beer included?
Hair? Yeah, facial hair, sure.
Okay.
Beard
sure,
as well,
sure.
yeah.
I mean,
Fabo,
looking at my depleted hairline, I can't really recommend any product, so... I don't know, nothing special, just Head and Shoulders.
There you go.
Oh.
Fabo's triggered, yeah. There's nothing I'm more conscious. You can say, oh, this guy is so fat, he's so ugly, this Warlock is better than him, but come on, not the hairline, man, not the hairline.
I love you, Fabo, dude. You're perfect to me.
Cayna, how about you then? You have something to share.
Just the normal shampoo, hair, shoulders, a conditioner. And then for the beard, I use a beard shampoo and conditioner, and then a how do you call it? Oil?
Yes, beard oil.
Yeah, beard oil. I used a bit of that, and that's about it.
And we don't know what Scripe looks like. He doesn't look like a troll. Scripe, what about you? Oh, okay.
We do.
We do.
He's what a sexy lad, dude.
I mean, I can't put everyone suddenly. I don't think Twitch is ready for it.
Oh.
Yeah, but I just use a normal shampoo, dude. But I was lately thinking about using something like a beard oil because my beard does get dry too much.
It's good, definitely.
I never tried it out though. I'm not a tryhard in these things. Yeah.
I mean, what you can do is with conditioner, you can also leave leave a tiny bit in it. So like just put like at the end, put a tiny bit of conditioner through, wash it out a slightly bit, but not like too much, and then it will like stay there for a little bit and keep it softer.
Yep.
I never use a conditioner either, so.
Oh, well, that's an unlock then. I try to. That's right. What else can I do?
So here's a bit of a thought experiment. So the last question here for the show, and this comes in sort of as an aggregate from the Wowhead crew. I have some more stuff that I'll ask that I'll save for the after show, and again, that's for the patrons. How would you normalize the race to world first across the regions to provide a better competitive experience with less advantages and disadvantages per region? If there is some way to do that, what are your suggestions? Kenny, you went up on this first?
We wouldn't do it because then they would just be even more embarrassed.
Oh.
Sorry, I had to. I love you,
I feel like it's so hard. Like the question was like how to balance like with the different raid stats. Yeah, like what would be the best way? Or like I don't know. The thing is like many people say like do a global release like expansion. I just feel though if like one faction, like one region is forced on a weird sleeping schedule, of course it would be kind of better than right now, and you can get used to a different sleeping schedule. But considering that some people even work still in Heroic Week in our guild, or like also in the American guilds or the Asian guilds, the Asians are also doing pretty well this content. Like it's still unfair for like one or two of the three regions, because like the one region, for example, starts in at 10 a.m. and like another region starts literally like 10 p.m. like 10 a.m. 10 p.m. Yeah, so like I think there will be always like like a region that has it worse. So yeah, I don't know. At this point, it's just like Method has to always be that much better to beat everyone else.
Okay, well, I disagree. I think a global release would be better. I mean, we can fix our sleeping schedules. That's not a big thing, I think.
Uh-oh. Scripe, did we lose it?
And then, like, mid, you know, it can be something in the middle. What?
One moment.
Am I dying?
No, I'm going to bounce. I'm bouncing our Discord server. There you go. Answer away, sir.
Okay, so global release, I think definitely is good. Outside of that, yeah, this whole crafting prep thing. If it was a bit less about like other content like island expeditions and a bit more about raiding, team play, strat development, mechanical skill, I think these things would be more enjoyable to watch and more enjoyable to play as well. Like, you know, abusing life grips, doing like tricks with like we did with the hunter. I think that looked really cool. Why don't we have more things like that and less things like farming 2,000 islands?
Yeah,
I think that would be more enjoyable, and also like it would be more fun to watch and stuff. Yeah, outside of that, I mean, it's also really easy to fix things like, for example, Titan Residuum. My idea was to just not give any Titan Residuum if it's tradable, because I can see how annoying it must be for Limit, because we are doing viewer runs. Like we have obviously more viewers because we're more popular as a guild, and more. No. What I'm trying to say is we are more watched on Twitch. That's what I'm trying to say, and we are abusing it, and it's really unfair. Like, I don't know. Even though it might not decide like who wins the race, it's just really demotivating as well. That these things can, turn into an advantage. So if these things would get removed, just no residuum if you trade an item, no, no crafting above the same equal eye level as the heroic thing. Instead, give a socket, make it 10 eye level less, and give it a socket. You can't trade anymore. Easy fixed. The BOEs, I don't know, cannot Titan Forge the first week of the year or something. Like, there's so many fixes you can do to make the race better. I just don't know if Blizzard is even interested in that, sadly.
That's the weirdest part. You bring up the Titan Residuum, the TR, the chalk split stuff that came up. The weird part about that is that this is one thing I've always said about Blizzard, and as much as I have high five, shaken hands, hugged the different devs that have put in so much work into this game, sometimes when there's a knob that needs tuning in this game, they don't tune that knob. They add a new knob and tune that one. Because the Titan Residuum trading nonsense was so baffling to me when they made that change. Because as Scripe just said, just make it so that you can't get TR from traded gear. If it was traded to you, no Residuum. But they went this like weird, like only your armor class. So now it just means that, I mean, we saw it on the stream in the Race to World First. We saw the cloth split and the leather split and like the plate mail split, right? The heroic runs you did. Like, it's just, why? It's so nonsense.
I mean, splits has always been like that. Just
no,
because,
that's
like,
fine.
Tier sets and stuff, like, that's
of
fine.
Course.
It's just farm, like,
right.
Please no end me.
It's just, it's those decisions that were made that are, maybe there's like a tech problem. They couldn't implement that in that regard.
No.
I don't know.
As a computer scientist, no. No way.
I like that.
It's sleep breaking. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty good. I don't know. It's so strange because little things like that are just bothersome. And the comment in chat about how they won't change it because it only affects the 1% of the 1%, so who cares? That's not how that works, because it does affect the whole game with the understanding and sort of amalgamation of community perception of these parts of the game systems. It goes far and wide. It really does. And it's more than just, it's just a nonsensical part of the game. But
I do hate that this argument is always put up like in any topic, like especially like good guilds talk about.
Yeah.
Every time it's just like, yeah, you guys are just the 1% or the 0.1% of the game. They don't care about you. But there's so many things in a game that many people, whether it's like method or your 2 days, 3 hours raider, that they don't like, and like it always gets put up with, yeah, it's only you guys that complain about it. Like, people do have to realize there's a lot of people nowadays that are frustrated with certain parts of the game, and it's not only us.
Yep.
Because the hardcore people, we wanna play hardcore in progression, but outside of progression, we wanna be like basically the laziest people of them all, because but this is how it used to be before Legion, that you can be like, if you're a World First guild, you can be outside of progress kinda the laziest guild ever, and it doesn't matter. And like, so don't always say like you guys force it on yourself, or it's only like affecting you guys. It's not. It's really not.
It's funny. I mean, we're kind of in the end wrap-up section here with like closing remarks and soapboxes. So this is sort of when, if you have anything else you wanted to shout out or plug or sort of, again, vent, rant, bant about, this is your time. So it's, I was going to say that like the closing words I had on that one is that we talk about on the desk a lot, that it would be interesting if the raid actually had like a NAEU overall launch, and some of these sort of overabundant ways to get advantages and disadvantages would be a little bit more streamlined, but we'll see. A little bit too much. Chat's really good right now. This is why the giggles are coming in. I don't have a region to show chat.
This is something else.
It's actually not the chat.
Uh-oh. This is something else.
We sadly can't speak about it.
Okay.
That's private.
No. But this is the shout-out section, or what?
Yes, by all means. Yeah, if you have anything you want to shout out, soapbox about.
Do I start?
Who wants it?
Go ahead, my friend. Go
Go
ahead.
for it, Cayna.
Shout out to Russia for the crafting. You can craft his scrap hits, still traded thing. Definitely helped. Shout out to Getawix for lending us about 40 million, 50 million gold or whatever to actually get everything
crazy.
To get everything going. Shout out to Scripe for carrying me the entire tier. Shout out to the entirety of Method for carrying me the entire tier. And shout out to Tresha and Cheyenne for keeping me sane during the farming weeks. And shout out to Fabo for being my brush brother.
No, don't make me blush now in front of the stream. Not in front of the stream, you know.
Your
Go to Fabo,
brush,
he's blushing.
your brush brother. That's too
sounds
good.
really, that sounds really wrong, but yeah.
Gang.
Oh
That's
no. I like that. Shout out to Beard Oil. That was coming up in shout out to Beard Oil for sure.
That's true as well. Shout out to Bay Oil.
Scripe, you got to go in the middle of this one. You're getting the shout out sandwich, and we'll end with Fabo on that one.
I'm not really good with shoutouts, but yeah, thanks to everyone who helped us with the progress. As Kenneth said, Galvix included. Thanks to our sponsors who make it possible that the race is such a cool event. And yeah, thanks to all the viewers, especially as well during the whole progress. It's way more fun to play this game with all this hype. I was always for streaming. I always wanted to get World First while streaming as well. So thanks for making it exciting, boys.
Is Scott aware that when you finally add Scripe Cam to your cockpit POV that you're gonna take all of his viewers? Is that okay with him? Have you talked about that?
I don't know. We'll see, dude. But I don't know if the Scripe Cam dream happens. Not sure about that one yet.
I don't know. I think that can make it happen now. All right, Fabo, take us out. What do you have to close on?
Well, then thanks first of all to get invited here. I mean, I know I was just a substitution, but it was definitely fun. Then thanks one more time, like to the whole community, like the love we received within Method from like all of you guys was incredible. Then shout out to my Greek brother Roger Brown. I actually did miss him during the progress, and I think I can speak for a whole Method. We love you, brother. Come safe home in a few months. Shout out to the boy Rich Campbell for like the best fashion sense in the scene.
Oh my god!
And yeah, actually also shout out to Limit. It's quite fun to have like a pretty good guild competing with us, even though it's annoying at times. And I know that there was always like a little bit of tension between like both them and us. Especially also like a lot of the supporters from each of the guilds are like flaming each other or whatever. But I can say, at least for my part, I do have a lot of respect for you guys and definitely enjoy competing against you guys. And hopefully this will keep up in the future. And then just shout out to all my brothers in Method. Like, I love being every day in this guild. Like, I love each of you, and it's always a pleasure to race with you guys for the World First. No King rules forever, but we will. So yeah, see you next race.
You're on 11 World First.
Unless they kill it day one.
Actually, except next year that is default win for the NA guilds, so the other ones.
Then again, we thought so as well about Emerald Nightmare.
Ouch. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if Crucible Storms is done in less than 16 hours. But the real... We'll see. There's a lot of really positive things coming. The biggest one with the Azurite changes and the Azurite armor system that's changing with the patch that comes out with the Palace of the Jara, whatever it's called. We'll have to wait and see how that affects things. And of course, we'll be back with more of that. But that's everything. I'm going to hit this button over here that does signify we have come to the end of the show. A little bit over time, but I think we're good. So thank you all very much for tuning in to episode number 179 of FinalBossTV. This is the Method World First for the Battle of Dazar'alor, Mythic Jaina Proudmoore. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you again, Wowhead. Check out Wowhead for all their... I'm pointing at it, but my finger is this one right here. And my name again was Adam K, a.k.a. Bay. Around the table, we'd have the boy is Deepshades. You can go follow him over on Twitch at Deepshades and watch him... Now, I guess, summon a whole bunch of demons and imps and things, right? Because demonology. Is that how it's gonna go?
I do play every spec, to be honest.
That's not true according to the Warlock Discord. You're one trick.
Yeah, I mean the Warlock Discord sadly always or like many speak bad of me, and I can only play one spec. But I hope one day I can redeem myself in their eyes and become a good Warlock as well.
Fabo, you're a wholesome little boy. I appreciate your time on the show today. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, my man. Thanks.
And my shaman brother in arms, even though, when will that ever happen? I know.
At least Word Up is soon gonna be the first enhancement to kill Jaina.
Holy crap, he's so good though. You see his numbers? Dude, he's pumping.
Yeah, he's pumping, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy. He is really good.
I'm actually proud.
But Cayna on Twitch, go watch him not play shaman, even though that hurts me to say.
Hey, we're starting splits. We're starting splits next week actually, so I think the boy's flying in. I think he's ready.
Are you gonna play elemental or enhancement though? Probably healing? No!
Oh god, no. Why do we have
Jaina? He probably will, so...
That's fair, actually. I'm ready, dude. I'm ready.
Oh my goodness. Thank you very much for your time on the show again, sir. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, dude. Appreciate it.
And Scripe, the man, the myth, the legend on twitch.tv/Scripe for the cockpit of Method. And are you gonna have? Is Roger back for the Ajara? Is he back home by then? So we're back to full strength for that.
There is a chance he will get transferred closer to his city, so or he said he might be. So there's a chance he can play there, but latest by August he will be back. So I'm guessing the next big tier, there's a good chance he will be here.
Ooh, you gotta catch him up. You gotta like just throw him into the wolves and get his hunters and everything all caught up. But
so Limit has a chance until then, pretty much.
Oh,
that's a countdown.
Oh. But Scripe,
I love you, Scribe.
I appreciate your time on the show today. Finally, after many years of being asked, just good Scripe on the show. I appreciate it. Hope you had a good time. I did. It was a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
That was great. Thanks, man.
But that's it for this episode 179. That's a wrap. I will be back next Sunday with the Limit World Second, doing the same thing we did last year, where we had the World First, World Second. But Limit guys on next week to sort of bookend the entire tier. So if you have questions for them, hit me up in my Discord when I ask for it, and we'll put those show notes together. But until then, everybody, have fun farming and trading your Azurite. This week of Mythic Plus, not that bad. Next week, yikes. Week after that, though, get that gear. It's so free right now. Reaping is so good. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all here next week or on the live streams, everything else. Wait, nice people. Wait, Cayna, stop Snapchatting me. I'm right here.
Shit, I thought we were done.